Joining me now to discuss is Jacques Shore, international trade analyst and government affairs specialist and partner at Gowling WLG. Good morning. Thanks so much for being with us.
Good morning, Marcia. Good to be with you.
Do you think that Canada's decision last week, the announcement from Carney to drop retaliatory measures, kick-started the negotiations once again?
I do, and I think it was an excellent move. I think that look, we're in a situation right now where we have to play a long game. We have to be very careful where we are. I believe what the Prime Minister did was extremely smart. I think most Canadians, if they don't know, I think they should appreciate that our relationship with the United States is so critical on the trade front. Economically, we are so actively engaged. Essentially, 75% of our trade is with the United States. 50% of investments in Canada is from the United States. So I thought this was an excellent move and one that has indeed enabled us to find ourselves back at the table. I'm very pleased that Dominic LeBlanc is back in Washington and addressing these issues. By doing so, we're in a much better position, not just in terms of the momentary elements that we're dealing with as we actually want to address the elimination, if we can, or as best as possible, the reduction of the tariffs on steel and aluminum. Obviously, the auto sector is in a very difficult moment right now. But as we also want to develop a much better and I would say a better atmosphere as we work towards the longer game, which ultimately is the review of CUSMA, our Canada-U.S. trade agreement.
Yeah. So the move, though, not without its critics. Some people said, you know, what happened to elbows up? Now we're kowtowing, we're bending to the U.S. Does it signify to you, though, a change in strategy or in tone when it comes to dealing with the U.S.? What sort of leverage does Canada have right now in these trade talks?
You know, a great question. The bottom line is elbows up can work in certain circumstances. I think we're far better off in recognizing that we are so close to the United States. We actually have this special relationship for so many decades. The fact of the matter is we make things together. You know, I like the analogies we can make by looking at ultimately at the goal and making sure that we skate to the net and we score. But I also think we can look at this from a baseball perspective as well. We're in the middle of a significant game. There are 9 innings. I would say we may be sort of starting into the 3rd or 4th inning, and there's a lot left. If we do this well, I think we will score the grand slam at the end of the day, which is what we're effectively looking at. So I think Cabinet and the Prime Minister are in the right direction. And look, we see the Prime Minister today. He's essentially in Germany. He met yesterday in Poland with President Karol Nawrocki. These are all things that we have to do on this side. There are different players in this particular game right now that we have, and I think the Americans will appreciate the fact that, as we did last week, we understand the nature of this relationship. We pull back, and I think Americans, the good friends that we have in Congress, the governors that support and recognize the importance of our trade activity, will also be at the White House to say, be good to Canadians. They deserve it. We can't have a better partner at all. And so I think at the end of the day, this is definitely the right way to go.
So I'm going to conclude. Final question. I'll use also a bit of a sports analogy then, Jacques, since you went there. What does a win look like? Do you think that Canadians need to accept that there is going to be some sort of tariff slapped on us, that there won't be an exception, considering every other country in the world has been subjected to a Trump tariff?
Look, I think we can live with some tariffs. I think reasonable tariffs. We are already in the best position than any other country in the world right now as a result of CUSMA. I think it really comes down to understanding and accepting, but it also puts us in an excellent position diplomatically. Let's put it this way: to be able to diversify our trade activity, which is what we're supposed to do. We have been too complacent for so long, and I think that there is no point in being anti-American in any way. These are our friends. We have to build those relationships even stronger, and I'm confident that we will actually succeed at the end of the day, because the Americans will see the value in that as well.
Well, we hope so. Jacques Shore, great to have you with us. Jacques is an international trade analyst and government affairs specialist at Gowling WLG.